All right, we are live. Let me see. Oh, we have David here. Let me see. Hey,
Hey Jay, how are you?
how's everything? How's everything?
Good. I was just worried that I wouldn't make it, but I'm here.
I see. I see. Well, we are live. We are live, and we finally made it happen.
Cool.
Right, right. So you're ready to speak more English? That you're very. Uh,
Yeah,
Right. I don't know. I
I
made my
have to.
channel in English, so that's what we're going for. A Venezuelan guy and a Colombian guy just speaking English.
like like two dumbasses, but
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Like we have no idea what we're saying, but whatever. Yeah. So we
yeah.
have Revolta here, Revolta 269 in the house.
Cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes. So right. So David or David, as they know you in these circles, David C. Arenas. I know you as David Arenas.
Yeah.
But so tell me something. I want because I've been curious. How's the state of veganism in Colombia? Like, how's that thing going in your country? Because you live there, right? In Bogota, you're there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how things are going there in terms of veganism, the animal liberation movement, and all that?
Well, it's mostly the same as everywhere. It's like we have like a bunch of intersectionals and a bunch of welfareists and just a few people that understand the abolitionist stance of the vegan movement.
Oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
So you have like a Colombian Carson.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, we do have uh, some 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 people that still think very much like Carson. Yeah.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Oh man, but how, like, have you done it like outreach or something in the street, or anyone who does that in over there in Colombia and stuff? And how does the public
Yeah.
respond to that? Like the general public usually respond to that?
Yeah, well, we used to uh yeah, we used to organize cubes, AV cubes here.
All right.
Yeah, I was one of the organizers, and we did that for maybe 3 years, 4 years, something like that, and then like the group like fell apart. We had like 300 discussions about about everything,
Oh no.
and yeah, and and yeah, it all fell apart.
Hmm.
But the public response was good, I think. Well, for the most part, but yeah, we had like outreachers that maybe were not really sending the right message. Talking about maybe, yeah, there's no problem with backyard eggs or stuff like that.
Oh no. Right.
Yeah.
I see. I see. Right. And I'm guessing because it was like animal safe, so it was kind of intersectional and stuff, right? There was like that type of thing or not?
Yeah, kind of, but we never crossed paths with Animal Safe. Or, well, uh, the organizers of Animal Safe were part of AV, but
All right. Right.
they knew that we were just another different group.
Right, right. Because we were AV, and there's AV, and then there's Animal Safe also. Another one
Yeah, and
is
the and
right.
DXE, and we also had like anim synergy animal, like animal
All
synergy,
right.
maybe,
Okay.
which was the most welfareist one. And yeah, they asked for bigger cages. That was their campaign.
Oh no,
Bigger
no.
cages.
Mm.
And well, that and we had like animal anima naturalis, Anima Naturalis.
Oh, whoa.
And do you do you know that one? It's another welfareist
No, I don't know
organization.
them. I'm not familiar with them.
Yeah, that's another welfareist organization. So yeah, so we had just a bunch of people thinking they were doing vegan activism, but they weren't.
Oh, I see. Right, because they were like with the welfareist message and stuff like that, right? The bigger
Yeah,
cages and this type of thing. But what do you think? Like, I don't know, because I've seen you in different talks with different people. I saw you with Carson even, and when you said that thing about roadkill not being a vegan thing, I was like, yeah, this is the guy. Like, this is a true vegan here. Like, not this thing about looking for loopholes and how can I use an animal and how and why. I don't know. Why
yeah,
do you think people waste their time doing that? Like vegans or alleged vegans doing that. What do you think about that?
yeah. Because most people don't think of animals as individuals, as like non-human persons, maybe. But the concept to me, it's difficult to sell to the public. It's a good concept, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't be my speech to someone who doesn't understand why we shouldn't kill animals. It's like that wouldn't be my first choice. Um, yeah, I wouldn't uh, say anything about the personhood of um, of maybe of a spider.
Right,
They
right,
they would never understand that. So or they would understand, but not at that point
right.
when
I get.
when
Yeah, it makes
when they
sense.
think that cows, chickens, and pigs are just you know just things that they can benefit from.
Right, it makes sense because that's the thing, right? Like people don't even see cows, pigs, chickens as individuals. You're not gonna talk to them about like a lizard or a spider or something. Like it's even more difficult. Like
Yeah.
so obviously, yeah, no, the approach. And yeah, sadly it's kind of like you're kind of forced to use certain welfareist language sometimes about animal
Mm,
suffering and this type of thing, because that's what gets into people, that's what gets people the most. Like if you can convey like, oh, these animals suffer this much and they go through this and they
mm,
torture in this way and they go through this, and maybe that's how you get to people more. But at the same time, I don't know, because exactly how do you sell, hey, just don't do anything to animals because they're individuals, and just don't do anything to them, leave them alone.
yeah.
How is that going to motivate someone who will just be like completely unaware of everything? Like I don't know. So maybe I don't know what you can tell me about that.
Yeah, I try not to get too technical or too deep into philosophy, or
Hmm.
start talking about deontology or whatever.
Oh
That's
no, no, right.
it's like yeah. To me, the message has to be very simple, and the message is that uh, we should not use another sentient individual, and we should not see them as um, resources for us, or slaves, or commodities, or merge. You know.
Right, exactly, exactly. So yeah, but but this thing is like, so it's kind of weird because when you're not vegan and you're not aware of anything like this, and you only think of animals as, well, this animal is food, this one is a coat, this one is transportation.
Hmm.
It's kind of difficult to get out of that. So some people do need like something really shocking, like to shake them and see like, oh no, this thing is really horrible. But some
Yeah.
people, even when they see that horrible thing, they don't even change, or they like, okay, yeah, it's bad, but I still don't care.
Hmm.
So at that point, what would you even say to the Tates of the world? You know, people who just say I don't care or something like that.
Yeah, I just tell them that they are hypocrites because they are not granting to other animals what they demand for them. You know that 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 they yeah that they that eh, whenever they are not the victims, they are fine with being the victimizers, and they ask when they are the victims that they protest, then
Ah,
uh,
right,
so that's hypocritical attitude and hypocritical behavior.
right, exactly. Like if until it affects you directly, then you don't do anything, and yeah,
Yeah,
I,
when they are the victims, they protest for the behavior that they engage in when they are the
exactly,
victimizers.
exactly, yeah, yeah, that's what it is. So we had some people in the chat. Yeah, Luke C was saying hello, vegans. Hello, Luke. And Revolta269, my friend, is
Yeah,
saying that there were also animal naturalis in Venezuela, but that the friends that were there weren't even vegetarian. There
yeah,
you go.
it's those organizations are full of non-vegans. So yeah,
Right, exactly. And then they
just
tell them that you don't even have to be vegan. It's like, what?
yeah,
How are you gonna fight for animals if you oppress them? Like it doesn't make sense.
hmm exactly.
I don't know. It's weird. It's like this thing with BioLife. Remember that I showed you that BioLife thing, or was it?
Yeah,
Oh, who? No, someone exposed that thing with BioLife. I don't remember who it was, but then I saw the
yeah, I
messages.
did it.
Oh yeah, it was you. It was you.
Yeah.
And then I sent. Oh no, I sent it to Sky from Vegan, of course.
Ah,
I
cool.
sent it to him, and I sent it to well, your friend Ruben. You remember Un
Mm,
Vegano Curioso?
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, because he's totally against these alternative products and stuff, and he's like waging his own war against all these products. So I was like, hey, this might interest you. These BioLife people are terrible. Yeah,
Yeah,
they really betrayed their. I don't get it. The problem with these alternatives is that if they don't really send a vegan message alongside the product, then they're just another product
yeah,
that anyone can just buy, and that's it. They're nothing more than just a product there. They're not
yeah,
really
and
doing
that
anything, any activism or anything really.
yeah, and they are compromising the message just for the sake of profit.
Yeah,
The
exactly. Because it's one thing, like if you wanna do like Beyond Burgers or whatever, okay, but don't say things like you don't have to be vegan to what? Don't say that. If you're not
Mhm.
going to say anything good, just don't say anything. You know?
Exactly. If you're not going to do vegan activism, then shut up about it. Then
Yeah.
sell the plant-based stuff and shut up.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Sell your stuff and shut up about it. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Hannah Moon Vegan is here.
Hey,
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah. Real vegans. Real vegans we have today. That's right. So it's like that. It's like I don't get it. Like, why do you think that the core vegan message is not really being like the mainstream of the thing? It's like getting watered down and diluted by all of these other people and the
Mhm.
debate bros and these philosophy people and
Yeah.
influencers and organizations and stuff. Why do you think this is happening? Like, why is it so hard to just do the hardcore vegan thing?
Be- well, uh, I think it's because they look for the most popular message. It is more. I think it's more popular to focus on suffering. If you say, well, um, animals suffer, and we can show you how they suffer, and we can tell you that this is wrong, but we are not going to tell you that um, that these animals deserve not to be used. Yeah, that's a very difficult message to promote, I would say.
Right, exactly. I guess it's something to do with that. Like it's more popular and maybe easier to just say like, "Hey, do this thing or do your best." And yeah, you were eating five steaks, now eat three, and it's fine. You're doing great, and you're doing something better. I don't know. I don't know if that's even better. It's just the
It-
same thing. You're still using animals for your selfish wants and stuff like that. You're not really doing much. And then it's like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like even when I went vegan just recently, because I've been vegan for just like 2.5 years,
Mhm.
not for very long. But even then, from the beginning, I was like, it was so obvious to me that we had to just not use animals for anything anymore. Like
Yeah,
that was very obvious to me at that point. Like I was like, no, this thing needs to end, and it needs to end now. We need to just sever this thing from the root of the thing. Like no,
yeah,
no animal use. But then I saw people doing these messages of, this roadkill thing or this, meatless Mondays or whatever. And I'm like, that doesn't do anything for the animals. It's like they're still things, and as long as
yeah,
they're things, we're not gonna get rid of this horrible hell on earth that we created for them. It's not gonna go away.
yeah. And the message is so difficult to understand that some people that claim to be vegan are against it. It's stupid, it's just so absurd that that people who claim to be vegan are against the vegan message. It's like, nah, but come on, we can use some animals if they don't suffer.
Right,
It's like,
exactly. That's, I don't know. That's weird. That's like a weird message. Oh, the animal didn't complain, so yeah, let's use the animal. Like, no, that
yeah,
doesn't seem right.
or the animal is already dead, so what's
Right, exactly.
what,
That's kind of
what's the
weird.
problem? What's the problem with dead animals? So they haven't understood the vegan message. So why are why are they saying that? Why are they claiming to be vegan? That's uh, that's my problem with those people.
Right, exactly. It's kind of weird. But right now we have animals are here with us, not for us. Oh, hello there. I thought this was
Mhm.
tomorrow. No, it's today. So it's happening. It's happening today. Yes. Yeah, and it was delayed. I don't remember. Because I started a new job because we were going to do that like the other Friday, but we just couldn't. So now that I have my schedule, now I can organize this thing better. But
Yeah.
yeah, let me see. Okay, so they're saying
What happened?
Carson has a new bug buddy. Oh, because you saw that. Well, I don't know if you saw that, but now he's friends with a get this. It's a vegan, but the
Uh-huh.
guy runs an insect farming thing.
All
Like
right.
he's got like his own brand of insect-based products, and it's like Carson. That's not a vegan, but
Yeah.
according to the
To,
Carsonian
yeah,
point
to
of
his
view.
own to his own to his own definition of what other people defined and other people coined, to his according to his appropriation of the term,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, and
Which is really unethical, and he claims to be really ethical, which I don't claim to be. By the way, I don't claim to be the most ethical person. I just claim to just hold the basic principle of non-exploitation of other non-consenting sentient individuals. You know.
right, exactly. Oh, they're saying that the recipes on the site uses dairy and eggs mixed with the bugs. Oh man, but
Fuck.
it's terrible. But what can you do? And then Carson, those are the friends that he makes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Carlson is having any influence on anybody. Just to be honest,
I don't know,
I
but
hope not.
anyway,
I hope not. Yeah, I hope not.
right, exactly. So Revolte is saying. I really don't understand how veganism can be so misinterpreted. Leave animals
Yeah.
alone. How hard is that to understand? Exactly. It's
Yeah.
really hard to understand because we've been doing it forever. So what's the problem? Like we've
Exactly.
grown accustomed to seeing them as nothing, as appliances or something. It's like the Flintstones. You know that cartoon
And
with the animals that were like a TV set. The other animal is a lamp. The other one is a shower head. So it's like that's what we do.
yeah.
We use animals for everything, really.
Yeah.
Even things we don't suspect, they have animal products in them. So it's like we use them for everything, and it's infuriating. It's like absolutely ridiculous. We don't need to.
And yeah, and the thing is that ah, I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, but this the thing is that I don't know if you already saw what um, this chat with Francione that Seb Alex had.
I was going to watch it. I
Mhm,
haven't. I have it on my playlist, whatever, but
mhm.
I haven't seen it. But what was
Be-
said there? What did
Yeah,
Jerry Francione said?
because Francione, well, he says some things that I don't agree with, but the ones that I agree with are that uh, the movement, the animal rights movement, is Peter Singer's movement. I- is basically Peter Singer's movement. So it's a utilitarian movement.
Right.
Everybody's just worried about if animals suffer, and that's it. And
Mm, right.
it's a utilitarian. It's just a utilitarian movement, and it's full of people just thinking, well, um, maybe we can look for this loophole here, or maybe this loophole, or maybe it's just full of people that don't reject animal use at all.
Right. Exactly. So I don't know. It's weird. This Peter Singer. I don't know. And this utilitarian thing. I don't really understand any of that. It's like, okay, yeah, animal liberation, but if we can do this thing to them, like maximize like whatever gain we get. And I don't know. It's weird. Like that thing
Yeah.
when he said something about if he's on like on a plane and he asks for a vegan meal and they serve him like a non-vegan meal, then it would be better to eat it because then it would go to waste. I was like, what are you talking about? Like that's I don't know. That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. I don't get it. So I don't know. That guy is like the father of animal rights or whatever he is. He's not the father of anything
No.
really. He's just I don't know. I don't know. Just
But
terrible. Maybe his book was good or something, but
he's
he just
he's the father of modern utilitarianism.
right exactly.
I think that's really it's not that I'm trying to call him out. That's really his or what he's known for.
Right exactly. Yeah, and he at least he even says so himself. He said like,
Mm,
yeah, I don't know why they call me like the father of animal
animal rights,
liberation
not
and stuff because
because
I'm yeah
animal. Yeah, animal rights. Because yeah, he rejects the term because he's not pro animal rights.
yeah exactly. So it's like I don't know. It's like this thing with Singer and this, and then there's at least on YouTube this weird group of these debate bros or whatever,
Oh
these
yeah,
influencer guys who are just terrible and they're all friends with each other. They're like these vegan guys. They're friends with Destiny. They're friends with
yeah.
Rationality Rules. They're friends with The
Oh
Crucible.
yeah.
They're friends with all of them. So I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you friends with them? Like, they- they're not your friends, right? But they're all working together and getting more subscribers and views and donations and whatever, and it's like all
Yeah.
for their own for their own gain, and they don't really I don't know they do this things where they debate apparently something, but then they never reach to any conclusion, and it's just 2 hours of
Yeah,
some guy saying name the trade and some other guy just deflecting. That's all they
yeah,
do. That's all they do. That's
yeah.
their content.
They seem to admire people that are very fluent at talking bullshit.
Right.
Any books? Well, I'm not a big reader, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. um, but Francione has some good books, and I think that the one with the basics of the of veganism really would be maybe this one called Thunder Without Rain, Rain Without Thunder, Rain Without Thunder, something like
Hmm?
that. Yeah, which has some pretty good. But I mean, you can just watch Francione's talks and spare yourself, like a few hours of reading. And no, but yeah, well, he has some good insights as to why the movement is not an animal rights movement.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I need to see more of that because I haven't really seen like his content or anything. I mostly know the name and I've seen like the guy and stuff, but I haven't seen really like what he's saying or anything like that.
yeah. Well, mm, but his work is basically criticizing the mm, the intrusion, the mm,
Yeah, like the mainstream kind of
yeah
animal
the
welfare thing, I guess.
the problem with welfareism within the
Right.
animal rights
R-
movement, which is
Exactly. Yeah.
non-existent. And I would really not call it an animal rights movement. I just think it's also distracting to talk about rights. It was much more simpler to talk about non-exploitation and to stop animal use for human purposes, and that's it,
Right.
instead of engaging in conversations about which animals deserve which rights. And
Oh man.
you know
Right, exactly. It's terrible. It's just a waste of time.
yeah,
But you know why they do it, and I think I've analyzed this thing because especially you know how social media is. They basically just reward you for putting out content, and the more content you make, you get more people, more recommendations, more clicks, more views, more subscribers, more everything.
yeah,
So
yeah.
these channels they realize that if you make your channel about veganism and you say, hey, the animals, don't touch the animals or something,
Hmm.
second video, more of the same, third video, more of the same, they realize there's not much content to be made there. And there's like a really small sector of people who would watch that content because here's the other thing, like veganism is not really
Yeah,
a popular thing. And on YouTube, the people that you're trying to reach, that you're trying to teach them about these horrible things, they're your target audience, but at the same time, they're not because they're not going to want to watch what you have to say. And they don't want to hear it or something. So it's kind of difficult. So it's
yeah.
easier to just come up with this philosophy stuff and just entertain yourself with endless hours of name the trade and this thing and
and
software. Ah, man.
showing your muscles and talking about nutrition, and
Yeah,
human
exactly.
nutrition,
Talking about
up,
nutrition.
and appealing to the most selfish part of the population, which are just a hindrance to veganism at this point.
Right. It's like the same thing with atheism, for example. All the atheist YouTubers, they start out saying stuff like, "Yeah, there's no God," and then second video, what are you gonna say? There's still not a God. No, then they have to start diversifying their content and start
Yeah,
like being more appealing to a massive audience. And because the same skeptic guy, I remember that I used to follow him.
Yeah,
I was a
yeah,
subscriber because of his
atheist content.
yeah,
Yeah,
atheist content. She says journey compilation. Yeah, exactly. They do
yeah.
this journey compilation, journey, yeah, yeah, and these funny bits and stuff. But the thing is, yeah, this skeptic guy. So I was following him on that thing
Hmm.
way before he went vegan and way before I did. But I went vegan before he did. That's the
Hmm.
thing. I went vegan first.
Hmm.
Then when he made this video, a meat eater's case for veganism, something like that,
Yeah.
I was like really surprised. I was like, hey, maybe this thing is catching on, and maybe some personalities will get on board with this thing. And this guy who's like intelligent or whatever, this guy's getting it. So maybe there's something there. But he just saw veganism as another thing to entertain as an idea and to talk about. And when he saw no more results from that, like, yeah, it wasn't practicable and goodbye.
Yeah, I think we sometimes mix up people who are really fluent at talking, shit on the internet with intelligent people, because I don't think that he's that intelligent, to be honest.
I mean, that's the thing. Like he expresses himself very eloquently. If you want
Yeah,
to.
and he talks really posh, like posh English from England.
Right, right. The accent and yeah.
And people just buy it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you can convince anyone of anything if you have like the right accent and oh man, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Luke C says, oh yeah, man, YouTube sucks at detecting actual spam, parsing it from relevant comments. Oh,
Mm,
yeah, that's the thing.
yeah, sometimes YouTube kind of hides the comments just because of some word.
Exactly. Yeah, it's weird, right? It's happened. Some people have accused me of deleting their comments or something. I'm like, no, it's not me. It's YouTube hiding these comments, and then I see them on my
Yeah.
like YouTube studio, like, hey, approve this comment. I'm like, what? But there's nothing there, so why would I need to approve it? But so
Yeah.
yeah,
For example, on TikTok, I think the word animal alone is viewed like an insult, and they hide the comment. So
what on what?
if you say animal, if you comment animal, the word
But,
animal,
all right, but
eh,
on what platform?
TikTok,
Oh,
TikTok,
no,
yeah.
man.
So they hide it, and then you have to comment animals, or put some weird stuff, or separate the word or something, just so the comment is visible.
Right. Oh man. So they banned the word video. Come on, come on. This is dumb. Like you can't even write video.
Yeah.
I guess
the, the,
because they don't
the,
want anyone promoting something else. So I guess.
like, check my video.
Like yeah, something like that. But if I had like a moderator or something, the moderator can post links to stuff. But I don't
Mhm.
I don't have it. So I don't know. Let me see. There is nothing intelligent about being morally dishonest. Yeah, exactly. Which we know that this Alex O'Connor, man, I don't know. It's just terrible. And
Yeah.
then here's the thing. So now this other thing that happened, this is the other content that they make, and I've been guilty kind of that same thing because when
Hmm.
Alex O'Connor did the community post where he's like, "Oh, I haven't said anything about veganism in this time," I was quick to jump in and make a video about it, about him not being vegan anymore, because I
Hmm.
knew how YouTube works, and I
Hmm.
knew that if you jump in first and you make this content that is going to blow up because this is Alex O'Connor. So the
Hmm.
content this is going to get clicks and views. So I knew
Okay.
that if I acted really quick, I could position my video somehow because it's
Hmm.
gonna get buried the moment that Lifting Vegan Logic does the video, David Rams,
Hmm.
who else would do it? Joey Carstrong or any other of these YouTubers.
Yeah.
Like they're going to jump in and make their video reacting to the O'Connor thing. So I knew that if I acted fast and I put my video first, it could
Hmm.
get views. And it did. Like my videos usually had like 30 something views, and that
Hmm.
one had 500. So,
Whoa.
so
So.
yeah, so I knew that making a video about that and publishing it prior to any other big vegan YouTuber or anything was going to give
Mhm.
me the views. Because if I spend too much time, they're going to eat me alive because the results are just going to show you the most popular ones. And my
Yeah.
video will just get buried there along with a bunch of unknowns.
Hmm.
So that's what I did. But then when this Sofia Esperanza thing happened, I didn't want to make any videos. Like, you know what? No, I'm not going to react to this because everyone's going to do it.
Yeah.
And I knew, and it happened. Everyone did a video about Sofia Esperanza, and I'm like, I don't even know that lady.
I
Like,
didn't. Yeah, I didn't even know who she was. Yeah.
right? I didn't even know her. I was like, who cares? These
No,
ex-vegans, right, right. Say.
no. Yeah. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. I was following her, but her content
All right,
appear
all right.
uh, wasn't appearing on my feed. So
Mm.
I I followed her, but I had no idea what she was
All right.
posting.
I see.
Yeah. I
Right.
just
No,
saw I just saw that she was like a really well positioned Instagrammer. So
oh, I see.
that she had millions of people following her, and she was vegan. So I said, well, I'm
All right.
following
Exactly.
I'm following
No.
this account, but I never saw her content. Like I,
Yeah.
it never came. Yeah, it never came up on my feed.
Right, I see. So yeah, so I didn't even know she existed or anything until that happened. So I was like, no, everyone's gonna make something about it. So, and I said, no, I'm not gonna do this one because it's like I don't even care that much. Like when someone is like, oh, I'm an ex-vegan now, you already know what they're going to say. It's always those videos are all the same. It's always some spiritual revelation or something, and
Yeah.
oh, my body was speaking to me through the mother earth, and now I'm listening, and like, okay, right, really, really, yeah. And we
Yeah.
know how those videos go, so I was like, there's nothing new to this. Okay, I wanted to watch some parody or something, probably, but I didn't want to watch too much of it. In fact, I didn't even watch at first the one with our friend lifting vegan logic. But
Yeah.
then
Okay.
you posted something on Instagram, and I saw that, and I was like, what? Because you were like calling him like a welfarist and stuff. And I was like, what is this? And my reaction was kind of like the same reaction that I got from people when I said this. Like, it was like, hey guys, turns out lifting vegan logic is a welfarist. Man alive, why did I say that?
Hmm.
If there was a button to throw tomatoes and garbage at you on YouTube, they would have pressed that button. Man alive. I was like, like boo, boo, no, no, no. Man alive. And when I saw your post about it, I thought, no, this can't be. Like I was like, it can't be. My guy lifting vegan logic, he cannot betray the animals this way. That cannot be possible. And because I kinda know you and I know that according to you, no one is vegan. I was like, no, he's exaggerating this. Let me see this. And then when I saw him saying like, oh yeah, Sophia, you don't have to not call yourself a vegan for this, and then I was like, what in the what? So I was like really mad. And I was like, no, this is ridiculous. So I went into this live chat and I said, hey, these guys are welfare. Oh man. And they made an entire campaign out of it and they tried to destroy me and my channel and whatever. I was like, man, ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Like the guy has thousands of followers and I'm just a small channel with not even like 150 followers, subscribers. And they're like going after me for this thing. Come on. Like he doesn't even care. He just laughed it off. His whole response
Mm,
was a laughing face emoji.
yeah, kind of, because he posted the on his stories, the stories on Instagram.
Right.
He posted some stuff that we said.
Ah, right,
So
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
was
because
getting
I saw.
offended. He was
Yeah,
getting
because
offended by us calling him what he is.
mm, right, exactly. And then he was like, he posted some stuff on Instagram, and I saw other people like calling him out on this thing. It's like, hey, dude, this thing is this for this reason, and he was like making fun of them. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you making fun of people who are concerned for the animals and for this issue and don't want to use animals for anything? Like, that's a valid thing to think. I don't think that's a crazy cultish religious thing. But then I found this video of him 3 years ago where he says that, hey, vegans who think this way, they're religious and stuff. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, dogmatic. Dogmatic is the word that
Yeah,
they always use. Like
yeah. And it's like, I
like
don't know,
what?
man.
You're rejecting eggs consumption? Why? That's dogmatic. Yeah.
Yeah,
If if
right, right.
if
I
the
don't.
if the hen doesn't want the egg, then what's the problem with uh, eating eggs?
Right, exactly.
It's like,
Oh man.
why do you call yourself a vegan? It's,
Right, right. Yeah, dogmatic is what you say when you get called out. Exactly, yeah. And it's that thing, it's like, dude, just don't use animals for it. That you don't have any need for that. Like if you rescue a hen from like these horrible places, the hen is only exists because she was bred into existence to be an egg machine. So if
uh,
you rescue the hen, this is what I think. If you rescue the hen lays an egg, why are you taking it? Like you don't have the right to take it. It's like it belongs to the hen who exists only because she was going to be this egg machine for people. But according to some vegans, oh, it's just that because this egg doesn't have like a barcode and a price tag attached to it, then it's okay.
yeah,
I don't think that the problem is that they're selling it. I think the problem is that we're using it when it's not ours to use. But I don't know.
yeah. And the problem starts with people thinking that that's the purpose of their existence. That
Exactly.
that this animal exist just because humans need something from them. You know, so that's the whole problem starts there, and uh, and that's why veganism rejects all animal use. That's it rejects the idea that humans have to parasite other species, that or that humans are entitled to enslave them.
Right. Exactly. It's like it's weird. It's like if I rescue, I don't know, one of those. If I rescue a dolphin, like with from SeaWorld or something, so now I can swim with the dolphin and whatever. Like I don't think so. Like the dolphin was like used to humans or whatever, but he was oppressed by these humans.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna like that you're swimming with the dolphin or whatever. Like, just leave them alone. Just don't put them
yeah,
in a pool or something.
exactly. And take pictures and you know release them on Instagram or something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think these people uh, just they are not completely um, um, they haven't really freed themselves from this idea that that they are entitled to use other species as if they were products.
Right,
They haven't realized that they are just supporting that when they are just not opposing them, opposing that idea. You know,
right.
so they kind of they are just oblivious to the fact that they are just promoting animal use uh, by just enabling people that are like using this secondhand leather and all this shit that this influencer came up with that I forgot the name the yeah, Sophia.
Right, exactly. This secondhand leather and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I get that if, for example, if you're not a vegan and then you go vegan from one day to the other, of course you're gonna have something in your wardrobe. You're gonna have some stuff in your house that's not vegan. So some stuff is going to be more difficult to get rid of immediately and replace or whatever. Okay, I get it. Because I had like a leather belt that I finally replaced like months or even a year or something like that after I went vegan, but I didn't want to wear it or anything like that. I finally replaced it. And I felt so much better when I did it, and that letter I didn't really like. I didn't send it to any donation or anything. Like no one's gonna use that anymore. Like that's not
Yeah.
an item, so
Yeah.
it's no use. And I had a leather wallet that no use anymore. That's not going to be a product anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. These people like with the secondhand wool and
Mhm.
leather and stuff. It's like secondhand doesn't mean anything to the animal who died for that.
Mhm.
It's like what? So there was no victim because oh this is secondhand. I'm not creating more demand. Well, but you're using the animal's skin or fur or whatever anyway.
Yeah.
Of an animal who suffered and died a horrible death. So I don't get it. Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Did you know that Gary Yurovsky at some point uh, also supported like the use of leather, and he said like, well, maybe you should wear that leather out, and then not buy any more leather. But maybe if you become vegan, then you can use that leather out, and then you know until it's just useless. But then a few months or maybe a year after he made that comment,
All right.
then he said, well, no, I'm yeah, I'm fucking I forgot the term, but I'm
Right, right.
yeah,
So yeah, he changed his mind on it.
yeah, yeah, like no, we wouldn't use any skin if it was dog skin or human skin, but then we shouldn't use it if it's cow skin. And yeah, I changed my mind, and yeah,
Right.
he
I mean, it's one thing to replace your old stuff that you had when you weren't vegan and stuff, and some stuff can be more difficult, whatever. But just keep in mind that yeah, it needs to be replaced, and you need to not use it anymore and not give it to anyone else because it cannot be viewed as a product anymore. But then
Mhm.
this guy, this lifting vegan logic, he said something about like what if you this was with Rockster, this other debate bro that he's like friends with, whatever. They do these live streams together. So this
Mhm.
Rockster guy and him, they were saying something like with the hen and the eggs, like if your family is going to do something with some eggs, wouldn't you rather just give them the eggs of your rescued hen that they going to buy eggs? And like that's not fair. They still see eggs as a thing. So when they use these ones, guess what? They're
Yeah,
going to buy more then because you're giving them the idea that this is an item.
yeah, and what is going to happen when the hen is just too old to put more eggs, to lay more eggs, because all these all these uh, all these animals that are being exploited, um, at some point
Mm,
they are not profitable or benefitable, or
right,
they don't serve the purpose that they were um, they were bred for.
right,
So yeah, so at some point they are going to stop laying eggs, or to stop if it's a goat or a cow or a buffalo, for their milk, they are going to stop producing milk. And all these people that come up with these, trying to come up with these loopholes. They haven't really been in a farm, or they don't really know that much, because it's obvious that once this hen, for example, this Sophia girl uh, was saying that she is going to just consume the eggs of the hens that live in a some sort of almost sanctuary,
All
uh,
right.
that yeah, that they live in very in conditions very similar to to the conditions where that they have in a sanctuary. So she's just going to consume those eggs. Yeah,
All
and
right.
yeah, and what is going to happen after a few years? The hens are not going to lay eggs for more than, like a few years. What is going to happen then? She's going
Right.
to
Exactly.
finally stop consuming eggs, or she's going to, you know, uh, have to rescue some other hens so that she can keep consuming eggs. It's just so
Right.
stupid.
Yeah, which is what I said also. Like, now you have an incentive to rescue hens from these places because, hey, I get free eggs now, and my family gets free eggs. So now we have this incentive to rescue hens just so that we can get like something out of them. How is that not exploitation? You're exploiting. You're taking advantage of the situations that they're in. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, so Carrie's here. Carrie's here. What up, mother flickers? Yeah, nice. And Revolta says all these guys live in a hypothetical world. Oh man,
Yeah, they love
don't even get
they
me
love
started on hypotheticals, man.
hypotheticals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember that hypothetical I told you about, like about lifting and his hypothetical girlfriend, that if he leaves the house and I
Yeah.
enter the house and I get romantic with his girlfriend, so to speak, he doesn't find out, so it's okay
Yeah.
because there's no victim. No one suffered,
Yeah.
so there's no victim there. So what's wrong?
Yeah, if you get to know her, if you get to know her in the biblical sense, then then there is no problem. But because he didn't realize that that happened, and all this utilitarian, the utilitarian thinking is like, if we have like just two bars here, like this is the pain bar and this is the pleasure bar, and if the pleasure bar is higher, then then everything is up, like everything is up for grabs, like everything everything goes. It's so dangerous to think like that, because it's like, um it's and I think like pleasure is some sort of entity, like
Right,
we we have to take care of this pleasure entity. you know
right, exactly. Which
so
is kind of the utilitarian thing, right? Like
yeah,
maximize pleasure, minimize suffering, or stuff like that.
yeah, it's like, well, but we can just keep selling drugs to anyone, everybody has to be drugged all the time, and they are happy. Just and so the pleasure bar goes up,
Right,
and it's
exactly.
all this, it's all this stupid stuff that maybe they would support. And some of them are just crazy. There was some Argentinian guy here, or there is some Argentinian guy, very well known in the YouTube community in Spanish. And
Okay.
he says that he sees no problem with killing animals without pain. You know,
Oh, really?
painless deaths are just. He says that it's the same as turning off the computer. It's like just you know uh, um, just turning off your computer and the Windows.
Right,
If you use Windows, if
right,
you
right,
use
right.
Windows,
I get you.
yeah, the Windows shuts down, and that's it. And what's the problem?
Oh man, that's a
Uh,
terrible take.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
terrible take. Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and that the interests of the animals don't matter because there would be no interest after you kill them. So what's the problem?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, and
They're
you
very
go like,
convenient that these guys see the animal. Oh well, if their animal is not an animal anymore, how convenient for you.
but the biggest problem of all to me with these stupid people saying, morbid stuff is that they sell the stuff as if it was a vegan um, stance, as if it was a vegan position. That they come up with these hypotheticals and stupid stuff, and they make people believe that that's the vegan stance,
Right,
because their channels have the not even we well I don't even do that. I don't even name my my accounts with the vegan the vegan word, it's
right,
and they do always. It's like, you know Pepito vegan, Pepito vegano,
right,
vegan something,
right. Correct. Yeah.
vegan Daniel, vegans, and they all have this vegan in the title of their accounts, but they come up with these hypotheticals that are not vegan at all.
No, exactly, and that I think that's dangerous because then
Yeah,
the real message gets lost. People who are not vegan are going to think, well, this is veganism, some crazy thing where, yeah, you can
yeah,
still use animals and it's okay. And no, I don't know, it's terrible. And then you have like these accounts, vegan accounts of cooking recipes and stuff, and it's like they only talk about like the recipes, the ingredients and stuff, but they never say anything about the ethics or anything. And those are
mhm,
the largest following accounts are those
yeah,
are the recipes and stuff, but
yeah.
there's no ethical message
Or
attached to it.
if you're in a gym and you're just taking pictures all the time of your fitness progress,
Right,
then you have an account like millions of followers, and people believe that veganism is about that.
right, exactly. That's why I like these guys, vegan muscle outreach, I think they're called. I no vegan muscle, something about vegan muscle. The thing is that they're like fit. This like a really muscular dude, and there's like a lady also as well, I think.
Mhm.
And they do this outreach thing, but they're like ethical vegans. Like the guy is just like, obviously they work out, they go to
Cool.
the gym, whatever, but that's not their focus. They do the
Mhm.
outreach. They send this veganism, the ethical side of veganism, the message, and they're awesome, and
Mhm.
they're really good because they're doing the right thing here. And of course, because they look like that, maybe people will believe them better. I don't know.
But yeah, but to be honest, I'm tired of all these ex-vegans, which are mostly from from that part of this of society. Like all these people who are just obsessed with looking good in a swimsuit, and I'm really just tired. I don't think it's a good idea to lure them into the movement at this point. It's like we need more people worried about animals. We need more people that recognize animals as just individuals that deserve not to be objectified, and instead of just people worried about their fitness journey and or the environment and all these hippie hippish stuff. Hippish.
Right, right. Yeah, but
I mean,
there's also this theory that some people might enter the world of veganism. Let's say the appeal of veganism is like the health aspect. They enter this thing through the health thing, and then they start seeing like the ethical side of it, and then they go, they stay vegan for the ethical side of it, even if they entered from like a health egotistical standpoint. And some
yeah,
of them are like that. It can
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
At first, I was mostly concerned with like the environmental stuff and whatnot. That was the thing that was getting more to me. But at some point, I was like, no, these animals, they cannot wait for me to do this change or whatever. Like they need me now. Like,
yeah.
because I was doing like the slow transition thing, I thought.
Hmm.
But then I was like, no, these animals clearly need me now, not tomorrow. Like need to do this thing. And that was it. I never looked back. And
Yeah,
that's what I did. So
yeah.
it
Well,
was for the ethical reasons, not for some other reason. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. The thing is that yeah, it might work. It might work that you can, well, maybe show yourself without your shirt, and you're just just you have like a six pack, very well defined, and people would go like, oh, maybe I should try this plant-based diet, but
Right.
but most people that live, like most people that release a video saying, I'm no longer vegan, are just part of that, yeah, of that, kind of, how should we call it, like, just fat, just
Yeah, they're
or
part of that. Let's say, yeah,
fitness,
that group
yeah,
of health conscious,
exactly,
fitness guys or fitness ladies and stuff. Yeah, I see.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
it
so
definitely is like that.
things like veganuary, yeah, veganuary, and all these initiatives that try to get people on board with the plant-based diets, I don't think that they are helping at all. That, like, in veganuary, there are more vegans, and in March there are more ex-vegans. You know,
Oh,
it's
it could
and
be.
it's yeah, and just a few of them might just stick to the plant-based diet and then get into the ethical part of veganism, and you know and maybe they become great activists or whatever, but
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I
but
mean, right.
that's a very small percentage of the people that we are trying to appeal to, with these game changers and all these fitness stuff that I think that is, mm, the harm is greater than the good,
Right. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you because if I took my shirt off and say go vegan, people would do the exact opposite because I'm not physically, like someone you want to imitate in a, but
Yeah.
yeah, the ethics side of it, because I always say this, like we do need like a diverse group of vegans, who look like just regular everyday people, because that's the people we want to make this thing like to show that it's anyone can do it,
Hmm.
because many
Exactly.
people could see like I don't know these really muscular dudes or something and think, do I have to look like that? Like I have to put in all this work to be vegan, like a Patrick Baboumian or something? Like man
Mm.
alive, I don't know. So my all the lifting I do is just in my jaw when I'm munching on vegan burgers and stuff. So that's my exercise. So that's my exercise really. So and okay, it's not the healthiest or whatever, but it's the healthiest for the animals because I don't do anything to them. So let me
Yeah.
see. Food product, just use the
Mm.
plant-based label. Yeah, exactly, they say
Um,
vegan in the food product, and it's like
but
there's no, I mean, the product cannot be vegan because vegan is an ethical stance,
Yeah.
and humans can have an ethical stance. So a human can be a vegan, but a plant-based burger cannot be vegan because it's a non-sentient product. So what
Mm,
it can be is a plant-based product that you can purchase, but it's not vegan in itself. Because then if you can buy a Beyond Burger and then put like a cheese on it and mayo and stuff like that, so it defeats the purpose of the product. So it's like it
mm-hmm.
can happen. In
That,
Burger King,
yeah.
at least, it's like that. Like the Impossible Whopper comes with mayonnaise. So it's not really all that impossible. It's just the same thing, but with a plant-based patty. So it's not really vegan in itself.
And yeah, I prefer the products to have the vegan label, to be honest, because plant based can mean anything. Can mean that it's plant based, like 90% are plants, and then they
Well,
have some animal product in there, and they might say what, but it's plant based, or like the base
well,
is.
that is also true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah,
It happened to me one time. I bought these potatoes or something, these cauliflower potato things. I was
mhm.
like, okay, cauliflower potato, this is vegan. The product says plant based on the front, and then in the back it says contains eggs and milk. And I was like, no. Well, that happened to me like the first day. Then afterwards, I learned to read the ingredients. you know?
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah. We have to we have to make sure that these labels mean something. Like that the labels are at least are useful for
Yeah,
vegans.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. But the,
Yeah,
the problem with that is that I don't know, like BioLife can call itself vegan, but if they're saying you don't have to be vegan, then that's a
yeah,
problem. I see that that's a problem. But of course, it's
yeah,
a conflict of interest because they know, okay, if we market this to whom? To vegans only? They're not a very large population. Or do we market this to everyone? So they're trying to make it more appealing by saying you don't have to be. We're vegan, but you don't have to be. I don't know. If a vegan said that to me, like I'm vegan, but you don't have to be, I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, you're sus. You're suspicious, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I, I think that we are past that stage where we could just make that, if we had done that maybe 50 years ago, it would have made sense. It would have made sense that, well, we cannot call a product vegan because veganism is something that,
I
but
mean, yeah, I mean, but I get
right
your point
now
of view.
right
Also, I
now I
get your
just don't
point.
think it's useful. It's not a fight that I want to fight.
Yeah, I guess I see your point too. But then there's this other problem with cruelty free and or vegan because some products can label themselves cruelty free, but then they still contain some animal product in them, even if it because cruelty free just means it wasn't tested on animals.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean that it doesn't contain animal products in it. So that's
yeah,
kind of confusing to me because how can it be cruelty free if it contains some animal component? That's not cruelty free. That's just lab
exactly.
testing free. So maybe call
And
it no lab testing and I don't know. These labels,
yeah,
they're more
and
confusing than anything else.
yeah, and the vegan label is also confusing in like toiletries and these products, because vegan just means in those products that they don't contain any animal product, but
Exactly.
they can be tested, so
Exactly. So then there's a disconnection there where vegan means that the product itself doesn't contain animal products,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean that it wasn't tested on animals. And then cruelty free means not tested, no animal testing, but doesn't mean no animal product in it. So it's like a weird thing where you need both labels to be
yeah,
like, okay, it's vegan and cruelty free at the same time. And it's like, and that costs money to these companies, because that's the other thing, to get like the actual seal of approval. So they make up their own fake seals of approval of vegan and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are, but the problem is that you don't know if they're trying
To sell more
to
stuff.
fool you or something. They're
Yeah.
trying to scam you into buying their thing. And some
Yeah.
products are, they're very deceiving. I've seen products that are like, oh yeah, cauliflower pizza, and then when you see it says with real cheese, and I'm like, what the hell? So why is it the cauliflower crust for the pizza and then with real cheese? What is that? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. But you know,
And also these plant-based, if there was a plant-based label, it should have to say 100% plant-based. But
right, exactly.
but then if it has mushrooms, since mushrooms are not plants, then there would be a just another confusion there.
Right, exactly.
So you know.
Yeah, the other confusion that there is this weird thing where some people, especially this is a confusion by non-vegans, that vegans are like gluten free, and it's like vegans are not gluten free necessarily. Gluten free doesn't mean vegan. It just
Mhm.
doesn't contain gluten. That's it.
Yeah.
That's just a dietary thing. It's nothing. And this
Exactly.
keto thing is like also ridiculous. Like I go to the market, whatever, and it's like, oh, keto friendly and whatever. I'm like, who cares about keto? Like it's ridiculous. Like just do vegan. It's like this, everything that's vegan is already keto friendly, vegetarian friendly, all the other ones friendly. So it covers all of them.
Mm,
I guess probably not paleo or something like that, because they're like, no, what the caveman ate, and it's like, okay, the caveman didn't eat pasta or something, but so that's not paleo or whatever. But it's like vegan covers all of them together. It's like this thing doesn't contain anything bad. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's just more confusion. It's just adding more confusion to the whole market, to the
Yeah, man, really.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, man. It's like it's never ending, and then they come up with these labels like grass fed, free range, pasture raised, and I'm like, okay, but pasture raised, like what? No. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm tired.
Local.
And it's like none of that means that there's no animal use. All of that just means
Yeah.
we abuse this animal, but in a way that makes you not as guilty or something. Like this is to rid you of your guilt, not to do anything good for the animals. So I don't know. It's
Yeah,
weird.
because they make people believe that the ethical problem is just with the environment, the environmental damage. So
Right, right,
if they put the label local, then it's okay. Then there's no ethical issue there. So that's what they want people to believe.
right. Exactly. I guess it sells more or something. It's like, oh yeah, and then now they're doing this thing where they're killing hundreds of thousands of animals and trying to justify it with, oh no, this is for the environment, so we're going to kill all these cows and we're going to kill all these animals just for the environment or whatever. And it's like,
Hmm.
what you should have done was not breed animals into existence in the first place. Then we wouldn't have to worry about the environment so much.
you know you
So
know all
I don't know.
these all these environmentalists, what they should really focus on is human reproduction. you know if they focused on human reproduction, then they would have a much more serious movement than what they have right now. But I cannot take seriously any environmentalist that doesn't address the issue of human reproduction. So, and it's a completely different issue to veganism.
Right,
It doesn't have much to do with veganism unless you're a utilitarian. If you're a utilitarian, then and you think of you know suffering reduction and all this stuff, then I cannot. It's also as well. It's also the same problem. But it like if you don't promote anti-natalism, then I cannot take you seriously, even as a utilitarian. It's like why are not why are you not addressing the most urgent issue? You know, but but
Right.
but what I don't want to do is people mixing up veganism with that other movement, which is because I follow some mm, accounts which are anti-natalist, and
Oh,
they're
right.
and
Yeah.
they are great. They are great. Like there's one called Stop Having Kids, Stop Having Kids, and it's like an organization, and they go out and they do outreach, and they talk to people, and but they don't mix antinatalism with veganism, which is what I think. It's as long as they don't do that, it's great that they do some activism for another cause. You know.
I mean, I don't know. I know. I'm not like an antinatalist really, but but
Yeah.
it's kind of weird that this, if you're like an environmentalist, I guess it makes sense to be an antinatalist because it's like, dude, the most damage to the environment is done by humans.
Yeah.
So maybe what you want is fewer humans,
Well,
but
well,
or
well,
no humans at all.
we could also make the consistent claim that if you are against uninformed, like impositions to uninformed, non-consenting individuals, then you should think uh, of the imposition of making somebody live in a world like planet Earth, and yeah, but we can maybe get in way too deep into philosophy with this, but yeah, you can make the claim that if you're against imposing your will onto non-consenting individuals, then you should be an antinatalist. But
I see. No, I don't know. I don't go that far. I don't know. I don't care if people have
yeah,
kids or not, but what I do care if that they make them, they're gonna have a kid, the kid better be vegan or something. Like if it's not, then why? Then better not to have it. I
yeah.
don't know.
Well, to me, making your kid uh, be a vegan is just damage control.
Damage
it's,
control.
yeah, it's making it less worse than
I don't know.
than than it's going to
I
be.
guess I'm not an antinatalist because I I don't know. It's weird to be optimistic because we've seen the worst of the human race. Of course, we know that we can be the worst, but I also think that we can at some point. I don't know, maybe develop an actual conscience and be like, you know what, we destroy everything, so let's just build stuff and not destroy. And at some point, we can just like I don't know, technology will make it so that we can create like a planet for ourselves with no animals and no environment and no nothing, just an artificial place just for us, and leave this one as a sanctuary of sorts, and just leave this one alone and clean up all our mess and pack our stuff and go, because that's the problem that we, by being here, we only destroyed everything. Like the human never
Yeah.
adapted to the earth, we destroyed it ever since
Mhm.
we came to be, like ever from the first ever human ancestor, whatever. They never really just, I don't know, they never stood there and be happy with whatever. They moved from every territory. We went to all the places, the frozen tundras and the jungles and the deserts and everything. We went
Yeah.
to every environment, and we conquered all of the places on the planet. Basically, there's some places that are like uninhabitable or something like that, but it's like every place that is at least habitable with temperature or whatever, we went there, and we
Mhm.
built our cities and houses, even at the foothills of like volcanoes and stuff. That's what Pompeii happened, because they built their city just underneath the volcano. Oh, what do you think was going to happen? Of course, you were going to be buried under lava or whatever. So they played the most dangerous game of the floor is lava, because everything was lava.
Yeah, but
So we do this thing, and then we're like, why did this tragedy happen? Yeah, because you build your city just outside of the thing where that spews hot rocks at you. So it's it's weird. So we never
mm,
adapted to like just one place or just an environment or something. And we built houses out of these natural resources, and we built a bunch of stuff for ourselves with total disregard for animals, the environment, or even our own selves.
yeah,
And now we can't get out of it. There's no way to go back to nature, because if we destroy all of this artificial man-made world and we go back to nature, what we're going to do is become an invasive species to those species that are already there, and we're going to destroy everything again. Because we can't go back to caves and stuff like that. We will destroy everything in our path again.
yeah. But that's well, that's that could happen also with another species. Another species can evolve and be even worse than humans. It's I'm not
I
sure.
mean,
You
if
know,
it happened in Planet of the Apes, it can happen.
yeah, yeah. No, it's like millions of years from now, it could maybe happen.
I
If
think sloths have a plan. They're going really slow, but steady. They have it in their
uh,
head. They're like,
ho-
yeah, we're going to conquer this thing slowly but surely.
honey badgers are going to.
Honey badgers, yeah, yeah. I think so. I think sloths will conquer Earth at some point. you know but I don't know. That's why I'm not an anti-natalist or whatever, because I think that at some point we can do better at some point and just leave this planet alone. But it might not happen. We might destroy ourselves before we can even get the chance. Maybe some asteroid will blast us and something. There's hope for that.
there's there's the,
I
the
so who knows.
there's the voluntary human extinction movement.
Oh man, no, I don't know. I don't want to get there
The,
really.
but yeah, that's another movement. Which, in fact, I had some discussions or some arguments with the founder of this movement because he wouldn't accept veganism as part of their cause because they said that it was because of the environment. They wanted to make it about the environment, and I said, well, but we are fucking up the environment just by exploiting animals. So
Exactly. Yes.
then you should promote also the fact that we don't exploit animals. And he was like, no, 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 we don't want to we don't want to mix up different issues. And I was like, but this is your issue. This is your issue. Your whole point about this movement is this. So it's not like I'm throwing in a different issue. This is your issue. Well, but
Oh man, that's funny. Like, yeah, yeah, what voluntary human extinction? Not don't make any more humans. But while I live, let me eat pizza,
yeah,
and.
why while we're alive we can fuck it all up, but then it will just flourish.
Ah, right, I see.
it
Good.
was just something like that.
No, dude. Oh no,
Yeah,
that's funny. I don't know.
yeah,
Cause I don't know, but yeah, no, I don't know. I don't go into that anti-natalist thing. I don't know. I'm not of that idea really. Not that I'm not that I'm excited to see more humans, you know. But it's like,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't
yeah,
know. There's
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah. The
weird
problem is this. It's
mechanism thing in your brain that makes you not want to. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, it's to me, it's harder to convince people that they should be anti-natalist. It's harder than to convince them that they should stop exploiting animals. It's harder to promote anti-natalism, and
Hmm, I
yeah,
guess, but
yeah,
I don't
like
know. It's like
it's
I don't
like
know.
an ego. I think it's like an ego thing. Like people just want the their genes to be eternal, something like that. Which
That's the thing. We do want that eternity. We can't deal with being finite. We can't deal with even the concept of our own death. We can't deal with
Mhm.
that. We think we live as if we were immortal, because if we don't know how to exist. That's why we make plans. Like, yeah, see you next Thursday, and you don't know if you're gonna get to Thursday, but you still make those plans because you can't see. You don't think of that. You don't think of your own impending doom.
Yeah,
And when you think of the species, you're like, no, but like you want like the human race to still exist and stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's my people. So how would I not want them to continue existing or something? There's some sort of uh, yeah, optimism there, and I think I'm guilty of that. Probably that I'm why I don't know why I'm optimistic that at some point humans will understand that, hey, now we did this thing, this was terrible, now let's do the right thing. But I don't know what the right thing will look like, and I don't know if it's even worth it to be eternal as a species. But I don't know. I'm
no, I
thinking
don't
that
think
the
so.
best evolution would be when this AI takes over, to have these robot AI people and not humans anymore. Like organic life forms are just going to disappear at some point. That's what I think. And then we're gonna have synthetic life forms, and that's what's gonna happen. Because everything else at some point is going to die out. All the stars, all the galaxies, the planets, everything is going to blow away. But if we create some sort of parallel universe thing with when technology finally permits it, is probably going to happen. It sounds crazy, but I think it's going to happen if we
Yeah,
don't kill ourselves in the process with whatever we do, war or some other stupid thing. So I don't know.
yeah. I think it would be much more, classy, maybe classy, and more dignifying to just go out with style.
Go out with time.
Yeah, this doesn't work. Let's be honest.
I
Let
mean, we've
let's
had enough
let's
time to do good, and we
yeah,
haven't. So I don't know. I don't know
let's
if we
be hon- yeah
deserve a
let's
chance.
let's be intellectually honest, and nah, this species is not going to bring anything good so
Probably not. Who knows? But there's a chance that someone might be that's the thing. Like, we don't know. Like, it's a lottery thing where we don't know if someone will be born in the future, or maybe they're born today, that in the future they're going to be someone important that will bring these necessary changes. Who knows? Or maybe
yeah,
the next Hitler just born and we didn't notice. So maybe that's a good point for
yeah,
anti-natalism. Like, hey, your son could be the next Hitler, so maybe don't have them. But
yeah.
I don't
and,
know.
and we could maybe we could have several of those in different countries
Right,
at
exactly.
this
So
point.
that's the problem. Like, yeah, your son could be the next whatever, and it's like, oh no, but also I don't know. Maybe they could be the next. Who knows? Well, someone good. I don't know who's good, but that person.
You see how difficult you see how difficult it is to find
Like who's like a good
a good example.
who's a good person in history who's a good person? Yeah, that guy. No, no, yeah, no, that guy was cheated on his wife. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
It's easier to find the Stalins, the
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's easier to find
the
the next Hitler than
the Dahmers.
exactly that some philanthropist or something. Yeah, exactly. I think so. I think more difficult to find like the good person there. But I don't know. At some point, we're gonna have to, or this natalism thing will catch on. Who knows? I don't
But
have kids on my own, and I'm not planning on having them. But if they happen to exist at some point, I'll be like, dude, either be vegan or just get out. Yeah, nah, no, I don't know. No, I would do. I would probably force them to eat like lentils and stuff. Probably, yes. Like eat your lentils or no PlayStation for you. It's not going to be PlayStation 10 for you this Christmas. I don't know. But I don't know.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
it's just a different issue. But
Yeah, no, I guess, yeah. But I don't know. So, oh, the other thing I wanted to ask you about, because you've been really vocal about this thing, right? Of holding like the core values of the vegan society,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to yeah the words of Leslie Cross, who
Mhm.
at some point was like the vice president of the vegan society and all that, one of the
Mhm.
founding members and all that. So why is it so necessary to like adhere to the views and the words of the vegan society and Leslie Cross more in particular? Why do you think that's the most important thing? Or
Yeah, well, Leslie Cross may not the vegan society. I don't defend the vegan society. I think it sucks. Quite frankly, yeah. After Watson and Leslie Cross weren't in the vegan society, it just went downhill from there. Um, but Leslie Cross, well, I mean, they spent 7 years trying to come up with a definition and the purpose of the movement. And after 7 years, they just simplified the stuff. Like, okay, this we are not going to talk about suffering. We are going to talk about this animal exploitation, which is what we are doing. Which we are going to talk about what we are supposed to do, but about our moral obligations to other sentient species, and that's it. And that we are not talking about moral virtues. We are talking about what we as humans um, should really be like have as a moral duty. Like what we should think as a moral duty that humans have, and it's stop exploiting other sentient so other sentient species, other sentient animals, and stop thinking that they are here for ourselves, like to do whatever that at the at human convenience. So that's what they came up with after 7 years of careful consideration, after several talks. All these the original members of the vegan society, they were having a lot of conversations about this, and I'm sure that they came up with, but what about the uh, animals that die in crops and all this shit? And they came up with a very good concept, easy concept, simple, um, practicable, or
right, right,
easy, easy to put into practice, or
right, right.
yeah, or feasible.
Mm.
That's maybe the word that I was looking for. And that's it. It's something that we can all get behind. It's not about uh, low impact or zero impact or low waste, or all these movements about the environment. They never talked about, like, well, maybe we should minimize our damage to the environment, and try to lower it until we reach zero damage. They never talked about that. So it was a really simple concept, easy to promote, or, well, not easy to promote, but easy, or logical, and feasible for people um, to follow, to and
Mm.
everybody, like, you don't have to be you can be a banker and be a vegan. You can be a whatever.
Right.
You can be a pilot. You can be a Formula One. Like, I had this discussion with Ronnie Lee, because he was talking, like, no, but the environment has to be part. And I said, no, Ronnie, no, it's a really bad idea to put the environment as a part of the movement, because is Lewis Hamilton a vegan, or is he not?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Because he's a Formula One pilot, and he's doing a lot of damage to the environment. And
Right.
and is he a vegan, or? And he was like, he I I I think he didn't even answer, like. And I
Mm.
was like, okay, so can we call vegans, like, if you have a plane, can you be a vegan? If you or if you have a Hummer, if you drive a Hummer, can you call yourself yeah, can you call
Well,
yourself a vegan, or are you just consuming way too much gas?
right,
Uh,
exactly.
it,
No,
it's
right.
it's a stupid thing to add to the vegan message, which is a simpler, a very easy message to follow for everyone. Everyone can follow the vegan mentality of not exploiting other animals as if they were resources, or as if they were slaves. You know.
Right, exactly. The vegan pundit is here. Ah, nice. Hello there, vegan pundit. Animals are here for us. What are they saying? Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing with definitions of stuff and trying to define what's vegan, what's not vegan, and these things. It's like obviously the environment is not like the principle, like the main thing, and even the transportation sector, as compared to the animal agriculture, is not even doesn't even make a dent in comparison. So
But
even if Lewis Hamilton is doing like this thing by burning all the rubber from the tires and burning all that combustible thing, it's like okay, whatever. I mean, obviously Formula One is not like the most environmentally friendly thing in the world, but the guy obviously is vegan because he's actually like an ethical vegan. Like he's not some plant-based celebrity. Like the guy is vegan. Like
yeah,
so, I don't know. Like
but you
that
know
doesn't
what?
take it away.
But you know what Hannah said here, that the definitions become outdated. I don't think that they become outdated. It depends on what we're talking about, but we are talking about more, like, ethical principles, and ethical principles are universal. They are not going to be uh, like, animal exploitation will not be okay all of a
Right.
sudden, like 300 years from now. It's like, no,
No,
there's
exactly.
there's a principle that we shouldn't use other sentient individuals as if they were here, um, just to be used. So I think it's like, if we are talking about philosophy, if if some philosopher like 2000 years ago came up with some concept, uh, the concept is still the same. Maybe there are some you know, uh, diversions, or like the different like uh, yeah, people that wanted to add something else, but the concept that that philosopher came up with still there. Like we are not changing like Pythagoras ideas just because uh, they are too old, or we are coming up with new ideas. But if you're going to come up with like the utilitarians, what they are doing,
Right,
they should just start calling themselves something else. Like
right,
that's what I said to Carson.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, stop calling yourself like what is the name of his reasonable vegan? Like,
Right. Exactly.
no,
Yeah.
you're just some unreasonable utilitarian. It's
Yeah, I've called him like the unreasonable welfarist or something.
yeah, exactly.
Because he says that's what he is. Like, yeah, no, I focus on welfareism. I'm like, okay, that's not good, but whatever. That's your thing, whatever. But you
Yeah.
know, but here's the thing, right? Because the thing with definitions, and I've seen especially the debate bros do this. They're like, no, we need to future proof this definition of veganism, so we're going to include everything that has some speck of sentience into the definition. And like, dude, just in case like we find some extraterrestrial being that's also sentient but it's not an animal, so like, dude, just say animals and that's it. The only creatures we know here that we are abusing and oppressing for food, clothing, other purposes is the animals here, and they're the ones that we know are sentient in on our planet. So in the off
Mm.
chance that we find some weird looking alien guy, of course the vegan thing will not be to attack him and eat him, obviously not. Like, we don't need to define that in the we don't need to put that in the definition, like also include green
Actually, a-
aliens from Mars. Like, no, it
a-
doesn't.
actually, it could be vegan to attack an alien if we maybe perceive some kind of danger there. It could be
Right,
it's
but
the
what I mean
same.
is like, I mean, like
It's
trying to future proof this thing, and because sentience, and then what if we find that I don't know this other thing was sentient, and like,
yeah,
man, like,
uh, but I mean the because the vegan position is not that you cannot harm. Like, for example, if I'm just walking around and there is an eagle and the eagle is going to attack me, and I have some stick, and maybe I can just swing the stick at the eagle and hit the eagle so that the eagle doesn't
right, exactly,
harm
yeah.
me. And that's it's not it has nothing to do with veganism.
No, no, of course. I mean, you have the right to defend yourself,
So
obviously.
if an alien is there and you perceive some danger in the alien, and maybe it's
No, no. What I mean is like, for example, like this thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson and
with
his
the with the
vegetable
Groot
aliens.
with the Groot example.
So yeah, exactly. The Groot example and the vegetable aliens and stuff. It's like, okay, dude, if some green pepper from planet Omicron per se, whatever, okay, it doesn't matter. Like, at that point, we'll say, okay, yeah, this dude is sentient. Let's not eat him, whatever. But
Yeah.
it doesn't need to say it in the definition currently. It's just
Okay.
something that's going to be logical, that, hey, this guy is like sentient, let's not harm him without any, motive, like we're not being attacked, so let's try to not also. So I don't know, it's weird, like this thing, and it's like, I don't know. I'm tired. I tried to. I did the thing with the Nutribor on his Discord. It was terrible. Like, I don't know. The guy had me like eating Groot and saving some people from 1940s Germany and stuff. And it's like, dude, why are you taking me to 1940s Germany? We have
Yeah.
examples here of things that are happening, and I'm
Because
telling you, you
because what they want to what they want to like what they want people to think about is how much harm or how much pain or how much suffering we can avoid. It's
Mm.
all about that.
Yeah,
It's
they make it about suffering and
Yeah,
yeah.
they are not talking about animal exploitation. They are always talking about, but this is more harmful. This or
Right.
but this causes much suffering than this. That is not the vegan point. Why are you coming up with hypotheticals about something that is not the vegan issue? That is not a vegan issue.
Right,
You know.
exactly.
So
Because
they
then, yeah.
confuse everybody, and they try to come out and they try to make people believe that they are very intelligent because they're yeah, what about this, and what if and it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that vegans reject the use of animals for human benefit.
Mm,
That's It doesn't have
right.
anything to do with that.
But then they tell you that no, no, this is not veganism. This is animal rights, and then they tell you stuff like the killing carnivores and stuff like that, which is kind of, I don't know.
Exactly. Because they think the carnivores are causing suffering. You know, it,
Exactly,
it's not that humans are objectifying and making use of other sentient species, because
exactly.
humans are the ones with the moral agency. Humans are the ones with the moral obligation to stop doing what they are doing, because humans are the ones that have the moral agency to decide that what we are doing to other sentient species is not ethical. You know.
I don't know. I mean, this thing is like, it's I don't know. It's never ending because if you make it about suffering, then everything will just become about reducing all suffering, and you just arrive to the conclusion that hey, let's push a button to stop all life from happening because life is suffering. So let's just
Yeah.
push this button and nobody exists. And I think that's kind of selfish because you exist now, so you can exist, but others can't because suffering. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird for
Not,
me.
yeah. Or imagine that you just won the lottery. You just won the lottery, and you want to have the everything
Yeah,
that the life that you have always dreamed of. And
right, exactly. So
you
I don't
know
know. It's
and
weird. And then
and
this
and
thing.
some idiot goes like this, like pushes the button, and you cannot enjoy your fucking millions
Right,
of dollars or
exactly.
whatever.
Yeah, because some idiot
but
pushes a button.
but
But I tell you this, there was this Portuguese guy. His name is like Luis, something I don't remember. The thing is, this guy was always pressing me about the killing carnivores and stuff, and talking about these gazelles and zebras as victims and stuff. And I'm like, okay, but if they're victims, I finally said this to him. Okay, so the zebra is a victim, but then if the zebra is a victim of this, I don't know, system or whatever, then the lion is also a victim because he's part of this system as well, of this nature system, whatever. And
yeah,
he's also a victim. He didn't ask to be born a lion. He didn't ask
yeah,
to exist. Didn't ask to be a predator or anything like that. So he's an obligate predator, an obligate carnivore. So why is he getting killed when for just existing the way he doesn't have any agency about it, so it's not his fault.
yeah,
So I don't get it. Like, oh no, let's wipe out these species that we don't like. And it's like, no, dude, like they're a victim as well. If the zebra is a victim, then the lion is as much a victim of
yeah,
this nature cycle, whatever you want to call it. So if they're a victim, then the lion is also a victim. But he did not respond to anything else.
yeah. And lions also suffer. Well, when they sometimes they starve to death if they don't have any prey. Well, but I wanted to comment on what Hannah was
What was Hannah saying?
here, because Hannah says that we have a moral obligation to help these animals as well.
All right.
And that's, to me, that's one of the confusions that these people, these debate me bros are
Right.
mm, are creating within the movement.
I mean, right.
All these, like, and these humane Hancock and all these people, that because they are
Mm,
so focused on suffering, they mix up moral obligations with moral virtues. And e- every single cause on earth, every human cause, is about moral obligations. It's not about moral virtues. You cannot have
right.
a feminist or an anti-racist movement telling people that they should that they have to help, other people just because they are women, or because they are minorities with different skin color to white people.
Mm,
It's, you cannot have that kind of movement. It would just fail, absolutely, because it's not about moral virtues. It's about your moral obligation not to discriminate people just because they are women, or they are people with different skin color from yours.
right.
and
Exactly.
and they are these people are creating this confusion, that we have an obligation to help. And Peter Singer is one of Peter Singer was the first one to do that I know of, because
Oh no.
he said, like, this effective altruism is about, you know y- people should donate money to the cause that is going to help more people, and blah blah blah, and all this speech about,
All right.
um, and if you have money, you have to donate your money to a cause because it's your obligation. That's what he says. That's what Singer says.
I
and,
mean,
and I
it's not
said,
really your
no, no,
obligation
no.
because
Yeah.
I
Our,
mean, if you
our
didn't
obli-
create the problem, it's not your obligation to solve it.
exactly. Our
It's great
obligation
if
is
you
not
do,
exactly. Our
but it's
obligation
not
is
your obligation.
exactly. Our obligation is not to create the problems. And if you want to help, go ahead, but it's not your obligation. You know.
Right.
Yes.
It's
And
like I don't know. It's like then we get to say, and with which I mean, we don't have the moral high ground here to call out other species and say you're a murderer when we are the biggest destroyers of every other species.
mhm,
Lions don't run slaughterhouses. Lions don't do animal testing or anything. All they do is eat. And sure, it doesn't look pretty. It's horrible. It's devastating. All of that. It's sad. It's terrible that happens. But it's nowhere near what we do. Doesn't even make a dent into what we do. And it's not even the
yeah.
same thing because we don't even need to do any of that. And we do it for fun
and
and for
also
profit.
and also if where does it end? Where does it end? Like, if we start, well, we are going to help. Normally, they think of lions and zebras, but it's all over nature that this happens. Like, are we against spiders now? Are we against foxes?
Right.
Are we against bears? Like, are
Ah,
we
they
going
are
to?
against bears.
Yeah,
I tell you,
yeah,
they are against
I-
bears. They are against
yeah.
lions.
uh, Cats, you know.
I guess they have to include cats. Of course, they
Yeah.
have to because cats are felines who also hunt and stuff. And they're not against spiders because get this, they eat insects and insects are carnivores. So the spider gets a pass, gets a free pass because they kill carnivores. Ah,
Mm,
amazing, amazing reasoning. Like no, I don't know, like why? Ah, it's I don't know. So that's why it's so difficult to make people vegan because they don't even know what a vegan is,
yeah,
and they get it from these people who are the most
yeah.
the loudest and the most well known.
Because they think it's about suffering reduction.
And it's not
Because
about suffering reduction of anything.
at
It's
all,
about hey,
it's
let's not enslave these creatures anymore. That's it. That's it.
exactly.
That's all it is.
And
It's so simple that it hurts that it's so simple and yet so difficult.
Yeah, and they go like, well, but what about these because they suffer?
Right. I
And
mean, I suffer when I have to pay rent every month. No one's.
yeah,
I don't see Human Hancock doing a speech on my behalf. The big and blind spot. Let's help AJ pay rent this month.
that
No, I don't see it.
that would be an intersectional thing thing to do. Yeah, the next vegan camp out, if they invite some intersectional, they might talk about your issue with
Exactly.
paying
Yeah.
rents.
Maybe I'll do a speech. Help me with my rent, please. I'm dying here. I'm suffering every time I get the notification.
Yeah,
You know,
and and
it's like man
and
alive.
and this humane Hancock guy is also pro intersectional. I don't know if you,
Of course, yeah.
yeah,
You
because
know,
he was talking to George from Carnesian Debunked, and trying to defend intersectionality, and
yeah, I don't know.
he's just such a mess, such a hindrance to animal liberation. This guy, you
Yeah.
know,
I
like
don't know, man. It's just
every
like yeah.
he wants to talk about everything except the moral obligation of humans not to exploit animals. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
like
Exactly.
he wants to defend cosmic septic because he has done so much for the movement. So in utilitarian terms, it's better that he existed because he made a speech, and some
Mm.
people went vegan because of that speech, and so we have to defend this stupid guy. And Carson
Well,
is the same, you
right,
know.
exactly. Well, someone said in another live chat, they told me that this skeptic guy, I haven't been to his channel anymore, but someone said that he deleted his vegan content,
Oh, okay.
so he's not even in it anymore. Oh, Angelo, is here, and yeah, better late than never. They say, yeah, Angelo, I finally watched. I painstakingly finally watched the RV talk that he did with you, and man alive, this RV is just insufferable, man. Like if you want to talk about suffering, I'm suffering every time I see one of his streams,
Me
but
too. Yeah.
it's like no, I don't know. But thank you, Angelo, for being a true vegan, and putting Carson in like in its place. Like yeah, dude, like this is how it is, and not budging to his to his views, because bloody hell, man, that yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah. So let me see. I like the rooster, your profile, Angelo. Yeah. So yeah. So Angelo sent me something actually about something he's working on. How's that going, Angelo? With the he's working on a. Is he's writing something about vegan, the principle of veganism, like principle vegans versus like I guess the utilitarian welfarist
cool.
types.
Which is
So
which
that's
is
going to be cool.
which is better than rights versus, like rights versus welfarists, like
Right, yes. Rights
because
versus suffering or this thing, and it's like yeah.
yeah,
So he's
like
doing like an essay kind of thing on vegan principle veganism versus this thing with the welfareism and stuff.
yeah, because the this lifting vegan logic guy, he believes that he's a rights based vegan, and he is still a welfarist.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like you can infringe upon someone's right even if they don't notice.
Yeah,
You still committed a crime against them.
or or
Just
you can, or you can use some animals without infringing their rights, or or we
because
can,
yeah.
or we would have to define the moral right not to be used. But
Right,
it,
exactly. Because that could be a negative right. Hey, your negative right to not be used by any means, whatever. But I don't know. These guys, they're always finding these loopholes and stuff, and it's like,
But even after
I,
you die, even after you died, which is going to be very hard to. I don't want to talk about rights. I don't like to talk about rights because of that. Like, but
mm,
what if the animal is already dead? So we can maybe use the hairs of the animal, and the feathers, and we can use like blah blah blah. So that's why I made this video against these ideas of lifting vegan logic. So, well, if the animal's already dead, and then it's fine for him to make leather out of the skin of the animal. Uh,
right, yeah, no, I don't think it's
so,
okay.
so
No,
leather would be vegan, and
exactly.
if the animal is already dead, then and if we find a dead dog on the road, then it's vegan to eat dogs because roadkill.
Mm.
There's I don't see any rights violation there.
Ah, right,
You
exactly.
know,
That's what they say. I don't see rights violation in this, and it's like, okay, dude, but you're saying like how morbid it is that you're using someone else's skin and like someone else's body or whatever. Like, I don't know, like
yeah.
principal
Then
case for instance, I don't know,
then we have to define the moral right not to be used or not to be perceived as a resource. Then and
right,
that would be very difficult. Then then we just we are just confusing more people with these rights
right,
talk,
exactly.
with this talk about rights.
Yeah, I don't know this thing with rights and it's everything is rights, and then whatever is not rights, then that's it. It doesn't
Yeah,
fall into that thing. So there's a bunch of loopholes and stuff. So
yeah,
for example, like a good example that I came up with. What if we, for example, like, let's say we're I don't know, we are at school for I don't know whatever, and I have this backpack. And inside my backpack I have some cards. I'm collecting, I don't know, some cards for some album or whatever. Could be like
mhm,
a NBA album, whatever. I have a bunch of LeBron James figurines, whatever it is,
mhm,
cards, and I don't even know how many because I haven't counted them. So if I excuse myself to the bathroom, and you put your hand into the backpack and you reach in and you take one of the LeBron James cards, whatever,
mhm,
is it okay? Because I'm not going to find out. I'm like, there's no harm. I'm not harmed by
mhm,
this action. I never going to find out. Only you know it, but I don't. So
mhm.
didn't you steal from me or did you? Like you stole from me. That's how I see it. Like,
Yeah,
even if I don't find out, the thing happened anyway.
but well, maybe they would talk about rights, like the right not to be the right, or the right not to get stuff stolen from you, but which is something that maybe the right to your property, that they are violating the right to property. But then if you're dead, and like 20 years from now, somebody opens um, your grave, and steal the clothes, or the some people are buried with rings, gold
Right,
rings, or
exactly. Yeah. Hmm.
stuff, or even your teeth, or there's some people that have like golden stuff in their teeth, well, whatever, you name it. Like,
Right.
you can maybe people can maybe steal stuff from you because you're dead, blah blah blah. And then the families would get upset, because the and it's a whole bunch of um like morbid behaviors that we are just enabling with these things, that if we go down that path of just suffering, because if they
Mm.
don't suffer, what was the problem if they don't suffer? And then we would have people defending the right to steal stuff from dead people, or like a bunch of different, uh, uh, very different um, behaviors that would be um, that would be justifiable under that position. But with this guy, we were talking about this, I told him, well, then racism wouldn't be a problem, because only it would be a problem only if it violates the rights of the people that are being discriminated. you know
Right, exactly.
and then what is the point of doing anti-racism activism if it's
Exactly, yeah.
if it's going to just focus on rights violations, which is what we are doing with the animal movement, or when we know we are not doing it, but what these utilitarian guys, that with these threshold deontologists, they like to call themselves now threshold deontologists,
Right,
which
exactly, yeah.
is such a misunderstanding of the deontology behind veganism. The deontology is about opposing animal exploitation. It's not negotiable. It's you oppose animal exploitation, you oppose animal use. There's no negotiation to be done about that. And uh, and these people are just saying, well, I'm a threshold deontologist because if there's a dilemma, no, 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 there's no dilemmas in veganism. you're you're just talking about something else. There's
Right.
no dilemmas. They're thinking just about veganism as if it was a a bunch of dilemmas. No, no, no. Veganism is about opposing exploitation. There's no dilemma there. You oppose the use of animals as if they were resources. You don't wear feathers. You don't wear stuff that came up from that came out of the body of an animal,
Mm,
and there's no dilemma there. And
exactly, yeah.
so they start to, but what if we I don't know, if there's a fire
Right.
that has
Yeah.
nothing to do with veganism.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's just doing the right thing because it is the right thing to do, and that's it. It's like that's the ontology, basically. You do the right thing because it is the right thing, and that's why you're
N-
doing it. Like you don't need any other motive or any hidden agenda or anything like, oh no, but if this brings some consequence to this, then maybe do this. And like, no, it's like
and
just stop using animals and that's it, but
and
uh,
and
it,
and and also because they identify as something. It's like, I don't even identify myself as a deontologist, or as a consequentialist, or whatever.
no,
uh,
right.
it depends on the situation. Am I a deontologist if we are talking about child abuse or animal exploitations? Yeah, yeah, I'm a deontologist. Yeah,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, I'm a deontologist about child abuse or animal exploitation, but I'm not a deontologist if there's a traffic light uh, really late at night and there's nobody there. But yeah, I'm
Right,
just, you know,
yeah. I'm
I'm
glad that you said that because I was thinking of the traffic light. I was thinking about deontology and the traffic light. Like if there's a red light, the deontological thing to do is you stop because the light is red, because
yeah.
that's the signal. Like, hey, it's red, so you stop. Not if, oh well, you stop, but if there's no cars, then you go. No, because it's red. So the deontological thing would be to stop. Doesn't matter anything else. But the other thing, like the consequentialists or whatever, they would go like, whatever. There's no cars, so just hit the pedal.
But that's what I would do here in Bogota. if I'm
Right,
on a
exactly.
bicycle,
Yeah.
if I'm on a bicycle and there's really late at night,
Right.
and
Yeah,
if
no, you
it's,
have to run the red light because otherwise
yeah,
you get marked.
you
So
get
no,
mugged. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the deontological thing there is that to escape the danger, you know.
Yeah. Then you
Or
have,
you could say to the thief, "Go vegan." You know, want to hear about veganism, and then like, no, and then they just go away. I'm
then
vegan,
you,
and they're like, "Oh
yeah,
hell no, I'm gonna mug the
yeah,
next guy. Goodbye."
yeah. I'm not walking home because I'm a deontologist about traffic lights. So,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. No, I mean that's true. But you know, I was thinking of that scenario. You know, I was thinking about it like the red light and the deontology. Yeah, it's fun, really. But I don't know. I don't call myself any of those things.
yeah,
But I
it's
do
because
align more
nobody,
with
nobody's
deontology.
like that. No, nobody is a consequentialist 100% of
Right?
the
No,
time.
100% of the time you're
Nobody,
not going to be.
nobody's a deontologist 100% of the time.
No.
Like we can believe in some principles. If you
Right.
believe in if you believe in the principle of non-exploitation,
Right.
then you're a vegan. Then
Mm.
that's it.
Exactly.
And there's no dilemma there.
Right. Well, you know, I was thinking of this movie, you know, this movie with Jim Carrey, Liar Liar. That's the ontology basically because the guy he
Yeah.
can't lie. So everything they ask him or whatever he has to tell the truth. So
Yeah.
there's no way to escape. So that's kind of the ontology at work there. You know? I mean it's not true the
Yeah.
ontologist because he's not doing it consciously, but it's just a
Yeah.
curse or whatever. But the funny part is that he can't lie. So living in this way, like it shows you that you can't be a deontologist 100% of the time because you can't
Yeah.
function. Like there's no way to, you know, to function that way. You know,
Yeah.
but it's fun. It's funny
Yeah.
to think about it.
Yeah, he can. He's not a deontologist because he doesn't do it on principle,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
very
yeah.
important. Which is very important if you want to talk about veganism.
Right. No,
That
exactly, exactly. The
people have to,
principle of it.
yeah, people have to do it on principle. Like it's not because well, my wife is a vegan, so I'm a vegan. No, no, you're not a
Exactly.
vegan. You're just following. You're just being a consequentialist, thinking about the consequences
Right, exactly. The
of
consequence of
you
me
mixing
sleeping
up.
on the couch. So no,
Exactly.
I don't want to sleep on the couch. So I'm gonna go vegan for my wife.
Exactly. You're just a consequentialist.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like you say, I don't think anyone is exactly like 100% of the time this thing only. So when someone says, "No, I'm this thing," I'm like, not really. I
Mhm.
mean, you're this thing, but at some point you're going to switch to whatever is more convenient, you know,
Yeah.
or more plausible or whatever. So it's just like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
When I talk about utilitarians, I'm referring to utilitarians in the context of animal exploitation.
Right. Even though utilitarians, I
Just,
mean, it would be interesting to see if they hold the same principle or whatever, like the same view for everything else in their lives. I'm guessing
yeah,
they would have to,
some
but
try to do it,
yeah, because this utilitarian thing, I don't know. I don't like
or or
utilitarianism. I don't like it.
or at least they try to convince people that they are utilitarians all the time. And because
Right.
I remember this argument that I had with an Argentinian guy, that
Hmm.
he was saying everything is about consequentialism. That we And I
Hmm.
said no. No, that there is there are well, the ontological principles, because uh, yeah, for example, what is consequentialist about you know I don't know if I'm going to get you cancelled, but about abusing, children in in you know with the R word, and he said, well, what about if we have a crystal ball, and in the crystal ball we see that this child, this kid is going to be Hitler, and 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 if we abuse this kid, he's not going to be Hitler. That's that's the example that he came up with, and I said that's such a stupid example. But he was trying to just to win the debate, like just to to be consistent with his consequentialist views, and is well,
Right,
these people are just they are not only not vegans, but they are the ones that are confusing everyone else.
right,
Like
exactly.
they are just
Man, they come up with these crazy hypotheticals. Let me tell you, like, yeah, what if you know that this baby is going to be the next Hitler, and
yeah.
then you do this? Would you like
They
press a button
and they,
to?
and
It's like,
they end up excusing the most morbid behaviors that a human can have, just because they want to make a point that
right,
everything is consequentialism.
right, and everything is to just to maybe just to win a debate or something. It's
Yeah,
all to just win
th-
the debate. Just
those
oh,
are
I own this guy or I destroyed that other guy, and it's like
yeah, those
you
are
didn't
the
destroy anyone. You just came up with some baby Hitler garbage. So you know.
mhm. Yeah, those are the Latin the the Latin debate me bros.
You know what? You know what?
Yeah.
You know what makes me really mad? Everybody wants to kill hypothetical baby Hitler. Nobody. Why don't they want to kill hypothetical Chavez? You know, just baby Chavez or baby, you know, baby Castro, baby
Yeah.
Stalin. You know, it's always baby Hitler. Like, why did baby Hitler do to you, man? Like, just kill baby Chavez. That guy is terrible.
Yeah.
But
But
the consequence of Chavez is that now I live in Houston, Texas. So I'm guessing that if I were to be a consequentialist, I would have to say, and yeah, thank you, Chapes. You know, thank you, Chapes. Thank you. No, all right. Like, bloody hell, I lost my country because of that guy. So I don't know, man. It's
yeah.
like nobody wants to kill baby Chavez. Why not? Like, that's the baby we should be, you know. But, you know, man, like, it's like, man. But yeah, so it's like that.
Uh,
Baby, it's all baby Hitler. I don't know. He became like the poster baby for hypotheticals.
yeah. No,
uh,
it's just so stupid that we have to talk about hypotheticals in the animal context. If we are talking about racism, nobody comes up with. But what if? And,
right, exactly. Yeah,
they don't come up with these trolley problems
right.
if
What
we
if
are
we
talking
do
about any
exactly
other.
like what if we do raceless Mondays and then we
Yeah,
the rest of the week we are racist, but then just Mondays we are not. Like nobody does that in the human context,
yeah,
only in the animal thing.
and it goes to show how human supremacist is the view of these people, that they have to come up with so many hypotheticals that they wouldn't come up with if the victims were human. Like you won't see Carson going to debate an anti-racist guy and say, well, but what about if there's a fire and in this balcony there's just one, you know, uh, one person of such color, and the other person is of this color, and this person is old and this person is young, and
Right.
who would you save? Carlson
Right.
is not going to do that with the anti-racist movement ever. You
Right,
know,
exactly. Yeah, right.
and Carlson is
Oh,
not going to speak about with feminists with well, but if there's a train and and there are like three women here and there's one woman here, but this one is belongs to your family, and he's not
right,
going to do
exactly, exactly.
anything of this shit because
Yeah,
he knows that people already respect humans and these hypotheticals are just going to not win him any followers or likes, or you know
Right, right. Oh man,
this
that's funny. Yeah, right. Like
yeah
if
this
there's a burning building, who do you save? The dog or the person? I'm like, dude, first of all, probably the person probably started the fire. Maybe they wanted to kill the dog for all I know. I don't know the person. I don't know the dog. So whoever's closer, and easier to save. That's who I'm saving. Because I'm lazy. So
Mm,
whoever's closest, hey,
yeah.
I'm saving you. That's it. Yeah, goodbye. Whatever. You don't know. In a horrible survival situation, you don't know how you're going to react. That's dumb. Yeah.
And what does it have to do with any movement or any any human rights movement, or what does it have to do with any social movement at all?
Right.
It
And it's like, oh, who you save, a dog or an ant? And it's like, dude, like,
you
maybe I
know
could save both because the ant would be easy to pick up, and then the dog. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's like, it's dumb.
yeah, the fact that they come up with hypotheticals for animals when we are talking about animals,
Mm,
and it just goes to show how misguided they are, and how they think of animals as if they were uh, just uh, uh, beings that uh, suffer, and we feel bad that they suffer, and then we should do something because they suffer, and so we have to come up with these hypotheticals of what causes less suffering, and they don't do that with any human cause, because
right, exactly.
for any every other human cause, it is clear that the cause is about the discrimination, that the arbitrary discrimination that is causing the injustices against such group of people, this group of people or this group of people. But with like uh, they don't have, like, activists don't even have clear that these causes about the discrimination that we make against them, that make us believe that we are entitled to use them.
Right, yeah.
That's it, and that's it, and that's what we should be talking about. Not if what if this I don't know, if this train is going to kill these, and all these stupid hypotheticals.
Right, exactly. Okay. Okay, my phone is telling me that my battery is going to die at some point. So, yeah, I think we have like 5 more minutes or something. Any closing statement? It's been really fun to talk to you. I mean, it was really cool. I think we've covered like the basics of it at least, or what I wanted to cover, what that was like the true meaning of veganism, like the true meaning of Christmas, but veganism, like the true thing behind it, and the true, you know, yeah, fight that we need to fight, like not this fake thing with baby Hitlers and burning buildings and stuff. It's like we need
Yeah.
you know, to fight this fight for the animals because that's the right thing to do, and let's just do it, free them from ourselves. And like Leslie
Yeah.
Cross also said, like free us from them, like because we're came up with this system that we're also like, I don't know, like we attached ourselves to animals in a way that's not healthy, neither for them nor for us,
Mm,
maybe. So I
no,
don't know.
yeah,
What do
but
you have
yeah,
to any closing statement or something?
yeah. No, what he says, said was that humans should also be free from the idea that we are entitled um, to uh, to exploit other to parasitize. How do you say that? To to exploit other animals, but to parasite on other animals. I don't.
Right. Yeah. So exactly, we are basically that. We are basically parasites for them. Oh well. So thank you to the people in the chat.
Yeah.
Vegan, the animals are here with us, not for us. Revolta269, of course. Marcelo Arandia, who says, arrived late for my favorite vegan activists. Oh, well, you missed it, but there's a whole 2 hours and that you can view on replay, so you don't have to miss it. Yeah. So they're thanking us, and yeah, no, thank you to everyone also in
Yeah,
the live chat. Everyone who came here, and it's awesome. It's always like I have this. It's cool to have this community of people. That's always like we go to all these live chats and stuff, the streamings and stuff, and it's always like the same group.
yeah,
And these people are awesome. I mean, I know them from basically almost all of them from the internet and stuff, but they're like really cool people to talk to and hang around and everything.
yeah. I would
And
like to thank them as well. Yeah,
right, yeah.
thank
I
you
think
to all
the
the.
vegan pundit, for example, I think he's going to
Mm,
do some content of his own. And that's going to be awesome when he finally does, because that guy's really cool, and he's
cool.
got some really cool
Yeah,
ideas. So it's gonna. I'm betting it's gonna blow up. He'll probably do some talks like this, some live streams and stuff like that, probably. So
yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree with Hannah there. Like,
right.
it's not just about rights. It's about stopping our ideas of that these animals are good for or good for these human purpose, or you
Right.
know that's what we are trying to well to achieve. Yeah,
Exactly. We need to achieve that, which is basically just
uh,
total animal liberation. That's all there
yeah.
is. Like that's all they need, and that's all we have to do. So that should be the message always. So hey, it's been great to talk to you. I mean, we talk on
Thank you.
like Instagram and stuff, and yeah, because you got an Instagram account, so you can let the people know about your Instagram also.
Ah, yes, just like this name that you can see over here. It's it's the same, like David C. Point Arenas. Like it's like all together, David and lowercase. But yeah, that's my Instagram account, and I have a bunch of maybe posts it's mostly just written stuff
Right.
with a bunch of slides, like my-
Right. Exactly. The
yeah,
slides and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. But it's cool.
and
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah. So thank you, AJ.
Hey,
Thank you
well,
for the
thank you.
invitation.
Thank
And
you. All right, so see you in the next one, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you to David C. Arenas, or David Sands in English. So yeah,
thank
so
you,
yeah, it's been great. So
thank you, everyone. Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you, AJ.
Goodbye till next
See
one.
ya. See ya.
Bye.